Hi, and welcome to today's event where we have the pleasure to present Omnicar. To help us through the presentation, we have the chairman, Claus J. Hansen, and the CEO, Mikkel Kofod. Today's event, the Q1 results, strong growth, again, showing the case up. I guess also a very eventful quarter where you launched your Omnicar e-car sales platform. And under the surface, if I read the reporting correctly, we have made heavy investment and really finalized a lot of investment on the IT platform for the growth journey coming still. So that's kind of some of the things we might go into. As always, ask questions down in the box down below. Do it in English. We will hold the presentation in English, or do it in Danish. I will try and translate to the best of my ability. But Claus, I think you will take over from here.
Yeah, correct. And once again, welcome to the audience. Today's event will be focused on our Q1 performance, and we will also highlight some of the milestones achieved here in the second quarter. Now, for Q1 achievement, Q1 was a great quarter for Omnicar. We have previously forecasted ambitious growth, and we have achieved that, as you can see from the numbers from last year to this year. We have also had a significant growth on our service business. Please have in mind when you read the numbers, last year's numbers was included the software sales as we had last year. We have more or less lowered our software sales, so the numbers you will see in this report only contain or mostly contain the service revenue. We still hold an extremely strong position on customer satisfaction, which we are very proud of. And we have now serviced more than 6,500 cars. We have nationwide coverage, and we have also implemented some very strong IT platform, which we will cover in this presentation as well. And as you may already know, that Merconomen, they have entered Omnicar as a key investor. And then another significant number that we will continue to follow is our returning customer rate, which at this point is 42%. So basically what we have said prior to this meeting is that we will deliver, that we will grow the business, and we have done that completely as stated in our historically quarterly guidance. We have also, as Mikkel said, had a lot of investment during the first quarter. In total, we have invested more than 2.5 million. Usually, companies, they depreciate these kind of numbers. We have basically taken all the 2.5 million as a cost, which will of course impact the profit loss. Now, just let me highlight some of the numbers that I want you to understand. Firstly, the revenue growth, which is significant, 80% compared to last year Q1, and those 80% also contained almost 600,000 in software sales, as we do not have yet today, because we have decided to discontinue most of that software sales. So if you take the actual growth on our service business, it's almost 170% revenue growth compared to last quarter, which is very good. And then in terms of customer satisfaction rating, I want to stress that, and I want to explain to you that being a fairly new vendor on a very competitive market and only been in this industry for 1.5 years, and then are being able to present these kind of satisfaction rate is actually quite promising, because we have out of our all our reviews, 94% of those reviews are 5-star reviews. 5% of those reviews are 4-star reviews, and less than 1% of those reviews are less than 4 stars reviews. And if you look at some of the other vendors on the market, for example, Skov, which also have excellent customer reviews, but still lower than ours. If you look at QuickPoint, also excellent, but still lower than ours. And even if you look at vendors like Autohus Vestergaard, which is a premium brand car reseller, they also have lower customer satisfaction ratings. So just being able to present these kind of ratings is an indicator that these customers, they will be returning to our business for more services. And what we see today and what we will cover in this presentation is that you will see that those numbers are extremely significant, and the cost of getting those customers back are almost close to zero. So that is extremely significant that you as an investor understand this. Mikkel?
Yes. All right. Last time in this exact call, we informed you about that we was just about to start up in the western part of Denmark, Jylland, and so we did. We started in 1st of March, being present in Aarhus and all the east coast down to Kolding, and actually this launch in Jylland have surprised us extremely positively, and we now have 3 vans fully booked, only servicing customers in Jylland. This also means that we will grow the extension in Jylland. We will put more vans out, and we will be present in other of the big cities in Jylland and also on Fyn, which means that we actually from next month will be present in all the big cities throughout Denmark.
So, Mikkel, are you already getting a sense of, the medium or smaller size cities that they can actually have a cover a van, or you can drive between the cities to have the right coverage there? Are you already are you early on, or are you already seeing that confirmation of that?
I mean, Mikkel, actually, that's the beauty of our concept, because we can start by putting a van in Vejle, let's say. But if we see that we from day one don't fill a van in Vejle, we can make sure that on Monday it goes to Kolding, and on Wednesday it goes to Aarhus, until it have enough customers inside Vejle or the area to fully book one vehicles. And this is the case right now. We started putting one in Aarhus, and now we see we have one van only doing Aarhus, and other vans shifting from in area and driving more cities. But of course, making sure that we are doing it based on days, so we're not driving around and being too efficient. Good. Next slide is about our returning customer rate, and what Claus was also saying is that we currently is having 42% returning customer rate, and that is something we are extremely proud of, as it clearly tells that customers is happy on what they're getting and is coming back to enjoy our service and to enjoy the service and the concept we are offering. Of course, we need to remember when looking at this number that we are putting so many new customers into our business that it can be difficult to measure as a total, because they're quite natural. Will be a period after your first visit where you don't have a need, and that's quite simple. What we can see right now, and what we have tried to illustrate in this slide, is that if we're looking at the total volume for January 2022, we were servicing 420 customers. When we go to end of this year, December, we can see that if we just keep getting the same returning rate as we have today, and don't have any more customers coming in, basically, we will have the same number of customers as returning customers in December as we had as a total in January 2022. Of course, we will still invest in our marketing costs. We will spend so we can attract new, customers, and we will do different initiatives to make sure new customers is coming in along the way. But just by having returning customers, we will keep the same revenue as beginning of the year. That is quite impressive, and of course something which only will be stronger and stronger over time. Good. Beside that, we have been busy growing our business. We have also put a lot of focus into creating these state-of-the-art IT platforms, and one of them is how we are taking in new bookings from customers. It both have a front-end layer, which is relevant for the customers, and then it have a back-end layer, which is relevant for making efficiencies within the company. We choose just to take the front end, as this is something you as a consumer can rely to. What we are unique by doing is that you can go into our site and you can put in your number plate, and based on your own vehicle, we are able to give you an exact price on the job you're in the market for. It could be service, it could be a repair, it could be a brake change, a glass change, a tire change, etc., etc. This is not based on fixed prices. This is based on your car, where we have APIs into different parties, where it makes us possible to calculate an exact price. So you have the full transparency before putting the job in the basket and before choosing the time which suits you the best. This takes away all the, let's say, old communication where you have to call your local workshop and explain of your need and ask for the price, or even go down to the workshop after the job has been done and don't be aware of what is the price. This is creating full transparency just from the beginning.
And this is very interesting, Mikkel. How many of customers can you actually give a good price quote? I guess if you are not precise in giving in what you need done, then of course you have the problem. That's the first one. And secondly, why are you the only one who can do this? I guess this is probably the biggest hassle from a customer going to a repair shop, is the price, how to call them, how to describe it, how to get a price, how to negotiate a price. So why can you actually do this as the only one? Because I haven't seen it other places.
No, to answer the first question first to Michael, I would assume that we are able to calculate 80% of all tasks only by following this approach. What we do is also we are looking to our spare parts supplier if they have the actual spare parts in stock, because if that is not the case, then we cannot offer you the repair for a given time. And if they don't have spare parts in stock, or if we simply cannot calculate the price automatically, it falls off, and then you will receive an offer within 24 hours manually. So we can cover most of it, and this of course also makes us much more efficient in the back office, because we don't have 5 people calculating offers. We are doing it automatically. And to your second question, I mean, it's also this is state of the art. This have not been done, and this is something everybody have been trying to do for a very, very long time. And it's just important to remember that we are not a traditional workshop. Our mindset is being tech based and being focusing on IT platforms. So we are of course put the best persons and companies together and invested heavily in this one in order to have this unique position. Because our concept is coming down to convenience. We're coming out to the customer, servicing them where they need it, but convenience is also when you're ordering the service, being able to see the price instant, etc. So we have prioritized this investment, both due to a customer perspective, but also an efficient.
Perfect.
Then we have used Q1 to create our sales platform, which we have went live with during Q2. But we have prepared everything, and we have built an online platform where you from right from the beginning can choose your car and go to the purchase flow 100% online. Meaning you can choose if it should be financed, you can choose if you need an insurance, a trade-in vehicle, a charging infrastructure, etc., etc. And this is something which is super important to remember, that it is not only about selling a vehicle online. Of course, we are in a situation where more and more of the traditional dealers is starting to have some sort of an online offering. But what we can do is not only to sell the car, but to sell the whole package, and this is super unique in the platform and in the industry.
Yeah, that's actually a question there, because as I see it, the competitive, I also start to see something like yours where they sell online and can get the car delivered at home. But so there's a question here: how do you want to make yourself have some unique selling points that can set you apart from what I guess is starting to get more normal, that somebody will try and sell you a car and online and delivered at home?
Yeah, and this is, to be honest, not surprising for us, because we have seen how it started in the States and how it have become a normal procedure in the UK also. So we was quite aware that this is something which will be done from more sides. But what we do is that we are only doing it online. We don't have a let's say a traditional dealership. We also have to protect and do that as a combination. We can focus only on delivering the best online experience, and that we're doing by bundling all the services together in one, and being focused only on green cars. So we can also take a position where we can offer the customer a whole new, let's say, transparency of if a green car is the right choice for them, etc., etc. There's a lot of great possibilities by being online. Good.
Going to our Q2 milestones. I also saw that there was a question about the guidance for Q2, which we have placed here. We expect to grow the revenue 250% compared to Q1. And since we are in end of May now, and we only have 1 month left in the quarter, I think we are quite accurate on that number. What I also would like to emphasize here is our acquisition costs that are significantly lower than expected, which surprises us, because of course we have been studying how Carvana and Cazoo and how they have been acquiring customers and how much money they have spent on that. So we are a little bit surprised of this very low number. And then we are also encouraged by the margins on our car sales, which is pretty significant compared to what we have expected when we did the budget. But so yeah.
There's a question here. You I think quarter over quarter you had 15% growth on the car service van, and now you're guiding for 25%. Is that because now more vans have rolled out in the end of the period, so you can actually accelerate the growth?
Yeah, and more, we have also more mechanics, so that is due to that.
And there we also we was putting new vans in the market in March. So of course, when having those in Q2, we'll see the full potential.
And then there's not related to the Q2 guidance, but whether your full year guidance that you had out that was coming out, the full year guidance you gave earlier on, is that still valid, or are you now more focusing on guiding on the quarters all the time?
All our guidance is as it stands, so we're not changing anything here. So basically, 1st of May, we sort of launched our car sales business, Omnicar Sale. And what we have seen from being operating during May is that the strategy and the business model have been confirmed. We can sell cars online, we can keep the margins, we can acquire the cars, we can source the cars. Basically, that is a check mark here. And then we have also seen that the cost of sales is much lower than expected. We see a huge demand out there, especially for e-cars, which is our business area. So there's a huge demand in the market right now. We see, despite the fact that cars are more expensive to acquire, but they are also more expensive to buy for the customers. So that evens out the margins. And the sourcing is possible. We have had a lot of questions about, can you source the cars? And yes, we can source the cars. We have an extensive network throughout Europe, and we have been utilizing that network. And yes, we can source the cars. The challenge in regards to sourcing is that the delivery times are significant, but it is possible, which we think is very encouraging.
Are there differences between the European markets that you can use, that some markets are less hot, where there are less buyers, and thereby, some used car might be easier to get access to? I guess if you look at the Danish market, everybody's talking how hot it is. But do you have an advantage by maybe being able to pick up some cars in other markets that are not quite as maybe as running as fast as the Danish one?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we cannot reveal our sourcing secrets here, but of course, there's a lot of options to buy those cars around Europe. And the good thing about it is that the prices are more or less transparent in all European countries. So it's not like we are having extra taxes or anything like that in some countries and not in other countries. So it's very transparent, which is encouraging. And I think talking about the competitive edge for our business is the fact that we are advising people and car owners of how they should buy their cars, and we are also supplying all the add-ons, and then we are basically supplying the service afterwards. And I think that is unique compared to other online car dealers, is that they don't have the extra leg, the extra service leg on as a part of their business. So we basically have created this unique ecosystem that can feed each other. And I think that is our most competitive edge here. And then in regards to our DNA is IT and tech. And IT and tech is something you really need to leverage to succeed in these businesses here. And with all the IT infrastructure we are putting in place, we are basically creating a competitive edge for ourselves. You can't see that from the front door, but if you look in the back office, you can really get a sense of feeling of having a very strong backbone IT infrastructure. And that is another competitive edge. And then thirdly, our focus on sales and marketing. We are sales and marketing people. We're not car people. We have employed car people, but our DNA is sales and marketing, and that is our third strong competitive edge compared to other vendors and parties in the industry. Some investors have asked me, what is your number one challenge, Claus? And I think I wanted to address that today, because it's not like we are just having this shiny picture that has no challenges, but of course we have challenges. And our number one challenge is, and that has even been stronger the last month as we can see it, is being able to finance stock to meet demand, because there is a huge demand out there. I think we have entered this market at sometimes everything is about timing, and our timing is really excellent here, because everybody is talking about e-vans. We have seen that the old industry, car industry, have launched some marvelously profits during 2021, and there is a lot of money to be made here in the car industry. And with our focus on e-cars, our focus on convenience-based services, we are really narrowing the right timing here. So being able to meet the increasing demand and finance stock is our number one challenge going forward. And I just want the investors to be aware of that, because there's a lot of way to finance your stock. You can finance that by getting loans from bank, consignment financing, and there's a lot of options here. And of course, we are trying to finance our stock by shaking hands with the banks. But there's also equity financing, and there's a lot of options going forward. But the demand is significant, and that is also. And some have asked us, do you need to grow so fast? And as we saw, the customer returning rate at 42% is a pretty good answer. Yes, we do, because we have so many returning customers, and we can see that we can almost, like this year, we will triple our revenue compared to January compared to December. So in that sense, we need to grow fast to take advantage of this right moment that we see is coming up right now. So yeah, that's about to sum it up.
And there's a question here, and I guess you need to leave that open. How do you see your cash position 12 months ahead? I guess you maybe kind of indicated that.
For our operating business, we have enough cash. The thing is that, and the challenge we have is that being so ambitious, we actually can sell a lot of cars if we have the cash. So being able to build up the stock and get cash for the stock, that's a challenge. It's not for our operating expenses. It's for our stock and warehouse facilities. We need the cash. So that is what we will be working on during the next few months. Are we able to meet the increasing demand out there by basically increasing our stock financing?
Yeah.
More than we have anticipated.
So cash position, it's hard to talk about. You have cash position. You have had the Merkonomen investor also coming in, the buying the stake in you, and that's enough to finance your operation and your growth from operation. So it's purely financing the cars you need to have on stock to sell them.
Yeah, because Michael, we are in a situation right now that we have proven that we can grow the business with significant growth rates. We know that there's a demand out there. We have the customers, so we are not, there's customers out there. Customers, they are looking for e-cars. We know that from the industry. Just open up the newspapers, you can't avoid seeing that everybody is considering to buy an e-car. So the customers are out there. So it's actually a quite unique position we have here. Being a startup company, that we can grow the revenue so dramatically as we have done, and then we have a market that are really, really in high demand for our services. So I think that is a unique situation that we need to take advantage of, because I've been an entrepreneur for many, many years, since I was 18 years old basically, and I've never been in a business where there was such a strong demand for the things that we are basically selling, which is car services and cars. So I think that's a unique position we need to utilize and take advantage of.
So I guess you will return with some of the answers on how you will do that later on in the year to investors.
Yeah, of course, because we need to evaluate what would be the best option. Would that be to take a high interest loan, or can we get the interest down on the warehouse facilities, and what will be the best way forward? We can't say that right now. That would be too immature.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, that's about it. Questions?
Perfect. Yeah, let's take that. What is your take on the used car market? Do the high prices give you any challenges, or are the consumer on the other side willing to take on these higher prices?
Absolutely. This is following one-to-one, and you basically see it throughout Europe that due to the long waiting times for new vehicles, you see that the prices for used is going up and is being quite stable. and this is of course something we are keeping an eye on. But luckily, we can see the waiting time for new vehicles, and by that seeing when is this trend might going to change. Yeah.
And then there's a question here. Maybe it was your picture of one car in Copenhagen. Is there only one car in Copenhagen, or do we have more cars in Copenhagen?
We have plenty of cars. Actually, May, we were ending up May now as the best month ever in the history of Omnicar. So we have a lot of cars on the roads. We want more cars. So we have had a great month, and we have plenty of cars. It's not an issue at all.
Oh, no, perfect. So I think I was just wondering, maybe the graphics you need to put a lot of cars. No joke.
There wasn't space enough on one slide. So.
No, I know. How are gross margins on the individually survey van? Is it the same as you reported last year in rough numbers?
Yeah. Yes.
Clear question. Clear answer, sorry. I'll find the next answer. That was about the guidance. Yeah. But Claus and Mikkel, I think we have went through the questions also during the presentation, and we have hit half an hour. So I think that's perfect timing. So thanks a lot to all the audience, and thanks to you, Mikkel and Claus, for taking us through this presentation. And everybody have a nice day.
Okay.
Yeah, likewise.
Thank you. Bye.